like you're shouting in a crowded room, your voice echoing, but no one even glances in your direction. It's as though you're invisible, a shadow in the corner, screaming for acknowledgement that will never come. And when they treat you like yesterday's news, something they once glanced at but never truly valued, it feels as if you're drowning in a sea of self-doubt, endlessly replaying the same question. Why? Why are they ignoring me? What did I do wrong? What's missing in me? Let me stop you right there. These are the wrong questions. If someone is ignoring or rejecting you, the issue isn't about them. It's about you ignoring yourself. Here's a truth that's harsh but transformative. People only ignore what they think they can afford to lose. But there's a twist. They're wrong. They're so focused on the surface, they don't see the storm brewing beneath. And that storm is your awakening. Today is the day you rise. The day you become the version of yourself they'll wish they'd never overlooked. Are you ready? Hit that like button right now if you're committed to this transformation. Because by the time we're done here, every excuse, every ounce of self-doubt, every weakness holding you back will be shattered. 1. The golden key in rejection. When someone ignores you, they unknowingly hand you a golden key, the opportunity to unlock parts of yourself you never knew existed. Think of it this way. A diamond doesn't start as a brilliant gem. It begins as a rough, unpolished stone buried in darkness. Only through immense pressure and relentless heat does it transform into something priceless. Every time you're ignored, it's pressure. Every slight, every cold shoulder is heat. But here's the question: will you let it crush you or refine you? When rejection happens, many people crumble, begging for scraps of attention. They plead, "See me, value me, choose me." But desperation doesn't make you desirable, it diminishes you. Nobody is drawn to someone who has abandoned their self-respect to chase validation. When you beg for attention, you aren't saying, "I'm worthy." You're declaring, "I'm desperate." And here's the brutal truth. No one chooses desperation. They ignore it, just as they ignore an insignificant detail in the background. Let this sink in. You can't make someone choose you by shrinking yourself to fit their expectations. Instead, you must reclaim your power and expand beyond their imagination. 2. Why you must stop chasing closure. Now let's talk about closure. The myth of closure traps countless people. It's the belief that if you could just have one more conversation or receive a heartfelt apology, everything would finally make sense. But that's a lie. Chasing closure is like trying to rebuild a burned book from ashes. It's futile. The harder you try, the more you hurt yourself. Closure isn't something they give you. It's something you create for yourself. Imagine holding a rope attached to someone who's walking away. The more you cling, shouting, "Wait, explain yourself," the more the rope cuts into your hands. Bloodied and exhausted, you realize the only way to stop the pain is to let go. Let go of the rope. Your healing doesn't depend on their acknowledgement or their explanation. It depends on your ability to stop making them the center of your universe. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Write this affirmation in the comments right now. I let go of the rope. Say it, believe it, and live it. 3. Their indifference doesn't define you. Indifference can feel like the sharpest blade. They don't acknowledge you, don't see you, and don't value you. And in response, you shrink, dimming your light in the hope that one day they'll finally notice. But let me ask you, why are you letting their blindness define your brilliance? The sun doesn't stop shining because someone closes their blinds. It doesn't dim itself to cater to those who can't appreciate its light, and neither should you. Every time you let their apathy chip away at your confidence, you give them power over your story. But you don't need their approval to shine. What you need is to remember your worth. Their indifference doesn't reduce your value. Your reaction to it does. Let me tell you something about people who ignore you. They think you need them more than they need you. Prove them wrong. Rise so high that their indifference becomes irrelevant. Write this in the comments. I shine for me. Let this be your declaration that you're done letting their lack of care dictate your life. Fourth, stop comparing yourself to their ideal. Who told you that you weren't enough? Who convinced you that you need to reshape yourself into someone else to be worthy? Every time you compare yourself to who you think they want, you lose the battle before it even begins. Authenticity is magnetic, but comparison kills it. Think of a diamond again. Its imperfections, its unique facets, make it priceless. If it tried to smooth itself into a perfect sphere, it would lose everything that made it special. Stop looking at their type and trying to conform. You weren't made to blend in, you were made to stand out. Say this to yourself: I am what they didn't know they needed. Write it down, believe it. Because when you embrace your authenticity, you stop chasing validation and start attracting the right people into your life. 5. Break free from the victim mindset. No one is coming to save you. Not the person who rejected you, not the one who ignored you, and not the world. And that's the best news you'll ever hear. Why? Because it means your power lies entirely within you. Victimhood is a cage, and you're holding the key. Every time you replay the story of why they hurt you, why they ignored you, or why things went wrong, you chain yourself to the past. It's time to break free. Declare this: I am not a victim, I am a creator. Say it, write it, and live it. 6. Your evolution begins now. When they ignore you, they expect you to crumble. Surprise them. Evolve into someone they can't ignore. Not for them, but for yourself. Think of an eagle soaring above the storm. It doesn't beg the winds to calm, it uses them to rise higher. That's your power. The winds of rejection and indifference can either destroy you or lift you. The choice is yours. Every moment you spend chasing their attention is a moment stolen from your growth. Stop looking backward. Start building forward. Use their ignorance as fuel for your transformation. Write this final affirmation: I rise above. The takeaway: you don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You need you. When you stop chasing them and start embracing yourself, you become unstoppable. So, are you ready to rise? Hit that like button, drop your affirmations in the comments, and commit to your growth. Let their ignorance be the fire that refines you, not the chain that holds you back. Because when you shine, you don't just light up your own path, you set the world ablaze. Rise, transform, and become undeniable. Let's uncover a brutal truth that most men fail to grasp. When you stop talking to a woman, something significant shifts inside her. This isn't just a small change, it's a monumental shift that can take you by surprise. The belief that constant communication is the key to maintaining interest is a misconception. Sometimes, silence communicates more effectively than words ever can. The power of silence in relationships. Before you start doubting this approach, let me clarify. When you stop texting, calling, or chasing her, you tap into something deep within her psyche, a profound, instinctual response. Many men operate under the assumption that keeping a woman's attention requires being constantly available. They think they need to flood her with texts, shower her with attention, and fulfill her every need to keep her interested. But here's the reality. This kind of relentless availability often backfires. Instead of drawing her closer, it pushes her away. Why? Because women, like everyone else, crave a sense of mystery, space, and challenge. By stepping back, you're not being cold or disrespectful. You're creating an environment where she can remember what it feels like to desire you, to wonder about you, and to pursue you. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly what happens when you stop talking to a woman. You'll discover how this simple act of silence can completely transform your relationship dynamic, reignite her interest, and even make her start chasing you. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding the deeper psychology of attraction and human behavior. If you're tired of always being the one who chases, the one who puts in all the effort while getting little in return, then listen closely. What you're about to learn will challenge everything you think you know about relationships, attraction, and self-worth. 1. She'll start chasing you. When you stop talking to a woman, the dynamics of your relationship undergo a significant shift. Suddenly, you're no longer the one chasing her or constantly available at her beck and call. This change creates tension, an emotional imbalance that disrupts her expectations and routines. Why does this happen? It all comes down to basic psychology. We value things more when they're not readily available. This principle applies universally, whether we're talking about material possessions or relationships. When you're always there, always responding, it sends an unconscious message that you're easy to obtain. But when you step back and stop feeding into her expectations, you flip the script. Now, you're the one who's a little harder to get, and that changes everything. Let me give you an example. Imagine you've been texting a woman every day, checking in on her, and initiating plans. One day, you decide to stop. You don't text her, call her, or make plans for a few days. Initially, she might think you're just busy or preoccupied, but as more time passes, something interesting happens. She starts wondering where you've gone and why you're no longer reaching out. That curiosity compels her to take action, whether it's texting you first, calling to check in, or even engaging with you on social media. This shift in dynamic isn't just about getting her attention, it's about creating space for her to actively pursue you. Instead of being the one constantly trying to maintain the connection, you give her the opportunity to recognize the value of your presence. And when she starts chasing you, it's because she genuinely wants to, not because you've pressured her into it. 2. She'll begin to miss you. Absence isn't just about silence. It's about creating a void that she can't ignore. When you stop talking to her, you're giving her the space to reflect on what she's missing. Those good morning texts, those late night calls, the thoughtful gestures, they're all gone, and their absence sends a powerful message. Here's the thing, people often don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. When you're always available, it's easy for someone to take your presence for granted. But by stepping back, you give her the chance to feel the impact of your absence. During this period of silence, she starts to replay memories in her mind. The laughs you shared, the comforting words you offered, the unique bond you had. Each of these memories serves as a reminder of what she's missing. And the more she reflects, the more she realizes how much value you brought to her life. Think about it like this. When something is too easily accessible, it loses its allure. By pulling back, you reintroduce a sense of mystery and intrigue. She begins to crave that emotional connection with you, wondering what you're up to, if you've moved on, or if someone else has caught your attention. This uncertainty triggers a longing, a desire to fill the gap you've left behind. The beauty of this approach is that it's entirely natural. You're not manipulating her feelings or playing games. You're simply giving her the opportunity to miss you. And when she reaches out, it's because she genuinely wants to reconnect, not because you've forced her hand. 3. She'll wonder where you went. One of the most powerful effects of stepping back is the curiosity it triggers. When you suddenly go silent, it doesn't go unnoticed. People are naturally drawn to the unknown, and if she's used to hearing from you regularly, your absence creates a noticeable gap. Initially, she might brush off your silence as you being busy or preoccupied. But as more time passes, questions start to surface. Why did he stop reaching out? Did something happen? Is he seeing someone else? These thoughts can occupy her mind for hours, even days, as she tries to make sense of your sudden disappearance. This curiosity doesn't just make her think about you, it pulls you to the forefront of her mind. She starts analyzing past conversations, replaying your interactions, and searching for clues about why you've gone quiet. And the more she overthinks, the more invested she becomes in solving this mental puzzle. This sense of wonder and intrigue keeps her engaged, even in your absence. It's a reminder that you're not an open book, and that mystery only adds to your appeal. A little distance, combined with unanswered questions, can do wonders for reigniting her interest. 4. She'll value you more. When you give her space, something remarkable happens. She starts to realize your worth. Many men make the mistake of thinking that constant attention is the key to winning a woman's heart. But the truth is, being too available can actually make you less valuable. When you're always there, always reaching out, you risk becoming predictable, even boring. By stepping back, you give her the chance to reflect on what your presence truly means to her. It's in this space of absence that she begins to see the value of the connection you shared. This isn't about playing hard to get, it's about respecting yourself and your own boundaries. By stepping back, you're sending a clear message. I have a life, goals, and ambitions outside of this relationship, and I won't compromise my sense of self to be constantly available. This kind of confidence is magnetic. It shows her that you're a person with depth and independence, qualities that are universally attractive. 5. She'll realize she took you for granted. Sometimes, the only way someone can truly appreciate your worth is by experiencing life without you. When you step back, you give her the opportunity to reflect on the dynamic of your relationship. In the silence, she begins to see the ways she may have taken your patience, support, and presence for granted. This realization isn't about guilt, it's about clarity. By stepping back, you're breaking the cycle of overgiving and overreaching. You're giving her the space to recognize the true value of what you brought to the relationship. Final thoughts. Stop chasing self. The takeaway is simple. If you're constantly chasing, you're not being valued. Instead, step back, create space, and allow her to come to her own realization about your worth. When she does, the dynamic will shift, and you'll find yourself in a position of strength. Not because you've played games, but because you've respected yourself. Have you ever found yourself blindsided by the possibility of infidelity in your relationship? Statistically, a staggering 85% of men struggle to recognize the subtle signs when their partner might be straying. Sounds surprising, doesn't it? But don't worry. Today, we're diving into this sensitive topic to equip you with the tools to better understand your partner and your relationship. Before we proceed, let's address an essential foundation for success in love: understanding female psychology. If you're here, it's likely because you want to elevate your understanding of women's thoughts, behaviors, and emotional needs. Maybe you want to build a stronger relationship or address the unspoken tensions you've felt recently. Whatever the case, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, you'll never miss any of my future videos packed with practical, actionable advice to enhance your love life, personal growth, and emotional intelligence. Why you need to listen closely. Gentlemen, what I'm about to share with you could radically transform the way you perceive your romantic relationships. Female psychology, particularly in the realm of infidelity, is often shrouded in mystery. You might have heard the old adage that women are masters at concealing their true intentions. I'm here to tell you, this isn't just a cliché. When it comes to infidelity, women tend to operate on a level of subtlety and strategy that can catch even the most observant partner off guard. While many men might leave glaring clues when they stray, forgotten text messages, unusual absences, or behavioral shifts, women often possess a finesse in covering their tracks. This ability to strategically mask their true intentions can border on the manipulative. However, don't lose hope. There are ways to decode these hidden signs and identify the subtle shifts that signal something may be wrong. Today, I'm unveiling 6 phrases women often say when they're cheating. These phrases might sound innocent on the surface, but frequently conceal deeper, more unsettling truths. Ask yourself this: could you confidently say you've never heard one of these phrases in your relationship? If you've heard them, did you recognize their deeper implications? Or did they slip by unnoticed? By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to identify and address these red flags before they evolve into something irreversible. Let's not waste another moment. Let's dive right into these 6 phrases. Phrase number 1. So-and-so really understands me. Has your partner ever casually mentioned another person, possibly a co-worker, a friend, or even an acquaintance, in a tone of admiration? Statements like, "So-and-so really understands how I feel," might initially seem like harmless comments, but they often signify something deeper. What's happening here? Emotional connections form when someone feels heard, understood, or valued. When your partner repeatedly references another person in this light, it's possible she's building an emotional bridge with that individual. This isn't just about admiration. It's often a comparison, implying that this person fulfills an emotional role that you, as her partner, might not currently be filling. Over time, this emotional connection can evolve into something more serious. Emotional infidelity, in many cases, is the precursor to physical infidelity. If you notice these comments becoming frequent, it's crucial to ask yourself, who is this person? What role do they play in her life? And why does she feel the need to bring them up so often? Investigating these dynamics can provide clarity and help you address any underlying issues in your relationship. Phrase number 2. Don't worry, I'm just going out with friends. At first glance, this statement sounds entirely innocent. After all, everyone needs time to unwind with friends, right? But here's the catch. This phrase is often a go-to excuse for masking behaviors or activities that your partner doesn't want you to question. Why is this phrase significant? Cheating often involves careful planning, and the idea of hanging out with friends creates a plausible cover story. It's normal, expected, and unassuming, making it the perfect alibi. However, if this excuse starts cropping up more frequently or inconsistencies begin to appear in her stories, it's time to pay closer attention. Does her behavior align with her words? Are there gaps in her narrative or changes in her routine? For instance, if she's claiming to meet friends but comes back with stories that don't quite add up, it's worth taking a step back to evaluate the situation. Phrase number 3. I need some space. A request for personal space in a relationship can be entirely reasonable. Every individual needs moments of solitude or opportunities for personal growth. However, when this phrase becomes a recurring theme or arises abruptly without clear context, it could indicate something more serious. The desire for space often functions as a strategy. It creates distance within the relationship, which can be used to explore other connections or reduce the perceived guilt of infidelity. If your partner starts spending this space time away from you or engaging in activities that exclude you, it's time to take a closer look. Monitor how this space affects your relationship dynamic. Does it bring you closer or drive a wedge between you? Healthy space fosters independence and growth, but unhealthy space often leads to detachment and secrecy. Phrase tired. This seemingly harmless excuse might come across as genuine. After all, we all get tired. However, when fatigue becomes a constant reason to avoid intimacy, communication, or connection, it might indicate something deeper. Fatigue can be a symptom of emotional withdrawal. It can also be a way of masking guilt or disengagement from the relationship. If this excuse becomes a recurring theme, it's worth exploring the underlying causes. Is it work stress, personal challenges, or is there an emotional disconnect that's driving this behavior? Phrase number 5. I'm working late. The classic "I'm working late" excuse is perhaps one of the oldest in the book. It provides a convenient explanation for extended absences or lack of communication. While work commitments are entirely plausible, repeated use of this excuse, especially without concrete evidence, can raise suspicions. Pay attention to patterns. Are these late hours consistent with her normal workload? Do her explanations align with what you know about her job? If inconsistencies arise, it's worth having an open and honest conversation to understand what's really going on. Phrase number 6. We need time apart. When a partner suggests taking a break, it's often framed as a way to reflect or address underlying relationship issues. However, this phrase can also be a precursor to emotional or physical infidelity. The time apart creates a buffer, allowing your partner to explore other connections without the immediate accountability of being in a committed relationship. If this suggestion comes out of the blue, without prior discussions or a clear rationale, it's important to dig deeper. What's motivating this need for separation? Is it truly about resolving issues, or is it a cover for something else? Final thoughts. Protecting your relationship. There you have it, the 6 common phrases women use when they're cheating. While these statements might seem innocuous, they often conceal deeper truths. The key to navigating these challenges lies in awareness, communication, and trust. By paying attention to subtle changes in behavior and speech, you can identify potential issues before they escalate. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Your willingness to learn and grow demonstrates your commitment to being the best partner you can be. Remember, relationships thrive on honesty, respect, and mutual understanding. If you suspect something is amiss, approach the situation with an open mind and a willingness to have honest conversations. If you found this video insightful, drop a comment below. Even if you're unsure what to say, write "I will be vigilant" to let me know you've reached the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content. It helps us create more videos to support your journey in love, personal growth, and self-confidence. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay strong, stay aware, and stay true to yourself. Attracting women isn't about tricks or games, it's about understanding something deeper. Women have unspoken vulnerabilities, weaknesses they rarely, if ever, admit. These are the truths that can transform your perspective on dating and relationships. Stick with me to the end, because once you grasp these insights, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Before we dive in, drop a comment saying, "I'm ready," if you're excited to learn what most men don't know about women. This video is your chance to break free from outdated advice and learn what truly works. Hit the like button if you're already feeling the value, and subscribe to the channel for more honest, no BS advice that actually applies to today's world. The dating world isn't what it used to be. It's competitive, fast-paced, and dominated by people who don't play by the rules. The reality is this: women aren't attracted to men because of logic. Their attraction is emotional, intuitive, and often unconscious. They might not even realize why they're drawn to certain men, but understanding the psychology behind it gives you the upper hand. We're going to discuss the top 10 female weaknesses every man should know. But this isn't about manipulation. This is about becoming a man who naturally inspires attraction, someone women want to be with because of who you are, not just because of what you do. So, let's get into it. 1. The steadfast man. Why consistency is irresistible. In a world flooded with options, reliability is a rare commodity. Think about it. Women receive endless attention from men, texts, compliments, likes, and swipes. Yet many of these interactions fade quickly. Most men are inconsistent. They break promises, flake out, and give up at the first sign of challenge. Here's the thing: women notice this inconsistency. They've grown wary of trusting men because too often they've been let down. This is where being steadfast makes you stand out. Being consistent isn't just about punctuality or keeping promises. It's about embodying stability. Imagine you tell her you'll call her at 7 p.m. and you actually do. Or you promise to support her during a tough time and follow through. These seemingly small acts build trust. They show that you're a man of your word. But consistency doesn't mean rigidity. It's about being dependable without becoming predictable. The man who is steadfast is like a lighthouse in a storm, a source of security and confidence in a chaotic world. Start by being consistent with yourself. Keep promises to yourself first, and that dependability will naturally extend to your relationships. 2. Confidence, the quiet key to attraction. You've heard it a million times. Confidence is sexy. But what does that really mean? True confidence isn't about being loud or arrogant. It's about a quiet, unshakable belief in your worth. Think about it. Women are constantly battling their own insecurities about their looks, their achievements, and how others perceive them. When they encounter a man who is secure in himself, it's magnetic. Confidence signals emotional security, and that's something women crave. True confidence isn't dependent on external factors like your job, your bank balance, or your social status. Those things can disappear in an instant. Real confidence comes from knowing your value, flaws, and all. When rejection or setbacks don't rattle you, you exude a power that women find irresistible. How do you build this kind of confidence? Start small. Set personal goals and achieve them, no matter how minor. Each success reinforces your self-belief. Remember, confidence doesn't mean perfection. It means embracing who you are, imperfections included, and letting that authenticity shine. 3. Ambition. Why goals make you stand out. In a world where mediocrity is the norm, ambition is like a breath of fresh air. Women are naturally drawn to men who have purpose and direction. It's not about building empires or working 80-hour weeks. It's about having a vision for your life and striving for it. Ambition shows that you're not content with the status quo. It signals that you're moving forward, constantly improving and unwilling to settle. Women want to be part of a journey. They're attracted to men who make them feel like they're part of something bigger. But here's the catch. Ambition isn't about talking, it's about doing. Anyone can claim to be ambitious, but actions speak louder than words. Whether it's advancing your career, learning a new skill, or working on a passion project, show your drive through tangible progress. Set goals, both big and small. Break out of your comfort zone. When you're genuinely ambitious, women will notice, and they'll want to be part of your world. 4. The bad boy. Why mystery keeps her hooked. the allure of the bad boy. Women are undeniably drawn to men who don't play by the rules, but it's not because bad boys are jerks. It's because they exude traits like unpredictability, mystery, and emotional control. Bad boys don't apologize for who they are. They're independent, self-assured, and maintain their own priorities. This creates an air of intrigue. Women don't want a man they can control. They want someone who keeps them guessing, a man who is slightly out of reach. But you don't have to be a jerk to embody the appeal of a bad boy. Maintain a sense of mystery. Don't reveal everything about yourself too quickly. Let her wonder about your life. Emotional independence is key. Don't let her mood dictate yours. Stay calm and composed no matter what. By balancing mystery with respect, you can cultivate an air of intrigue that keeps her coming back for more. 5. Scarcity. Why ignored attention drives. Her wild attention is abundant for women in today's world. DMs, likes, and compliments pour in constantly, making attention a devalued currency. The men who stand out are those who don't hand it out freely. When you don't immediately shower a woman with validation, it creates intrigue. She'll start to wonder why you're not like the others. This scarcity makes your attention valuable. Don't play games or act disinterested to manipulate her. Simply value your time and energy. Focus on your own life and let her come to you. When you're selective with your attention, it signals self-respect, and that's incredibly attractive. 6th preselection, the power of being desired by others. Ever noticed how men who are already in relationships seem more desirable? That's the principle of preselection. When women see other women interested in you, it signals value. This isn't about playing games or flaunting other women to make her jealous. It's about surrounding yourself with quality people. When a woman sees that you're respected and valued by others, she'll naturally view you as more attractive. 7. Masculinity. Why strength is still sexy. Despite what modern narratives might suggest, women are biologically wired to be attracted to masculine energy. But masculinity isn't about aggression or dominance. It's about strength, both emotional and physical. A masculine man is decisive, grounded, and in control of his emotions. He faces challenges head-on and takes responsibility for his life. Women are drawn to men who make them feel safe, both physically and emotionally. 8. Leadership. Why women follow a strong guide. Women are naturally attracted to leaders. Leadership isn't about control, it's about guidance. Show that you can make decisions, take initiative, and create a vision for the future. 9. Emotional intelligence, the secret to deep connections. Women value emotional depth. Learn to listen, empathize, and understand her perspective without always trying to fix things. Emotional intelligence is about handling your emotions and understanding hers. 10. Passion. Why purpose makes you magnetic. A man with passion is unstoppable. Whether it's a career, a hobby, or a dream, having something that drives you makes you irresistible. Pursue your passions for yourself, and the right women will naturally gravitate toward you. Conclusion. Understanding these 10 principles isn't about manipulation, it's about becoming a better man. The kind of man who naturally attracts women because he knows his worth and respects theirs. Which of these weaknesses surprised you the most? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. If you're serious about growth, consider joining the channel memberships to support our mission. Take control of your life. Be the man you were meant to be. Women will notice, and the right one will be drawn to you for all the right reasons.
Have you ever felt like meeting and attracting women takes an overwhelming amount of effort on your part? Like you're the one always chasing, putting in all the energy, and still not getting the results you want? Trust me, I've been there too. I used to think that building a connection with women required bending over backward, sacrificing my time, and constantly overthinking what to say or do. But then everything changed. I discovered a method that flipped the script, a strategy so effective it made women come to me instead of the other way around. Curious? Then stay tuned, because today I'm going to share with you 4 incredibly powerful keys that will make the woman you desire chase after you. Yes, you heard that right. With these techniques, she will come running to you. The evolution of attraction. Let me take you back a few years. I could never have imagined attracting women effortlessly. Back then, I believed that success with women was about following a rigid set of rules or using pre-rehearsed lines that experts preached. You know the kind, those magic tricks meant to make women say yes to a date or a number exchange. And while some of those strategies work, over time through trial and error, I discovered there was something far more powerful than those superficial techniques. There was a higher level, a mindset shift that made everything easier. It's about transforming yourself into the type of man who naturally and effortlessly draws women in, leaving them wanting more. Imagine being the kind of man women are willing to pursue because they see you as a catch. Trust me, it's entirely possible. Even now, I have friends who are shocked when I tell them how simple it is to attract women once you understand a few key principles. You don't have to try too hard or pretend to be someone you're not. The secret is to be are while cultivating the traits that make you irresistibly attractive. So today, I'm not just going to give you surface-level advice. I'm going to walk you through 4 actionable ideas that can revolutionize your interactions with women. And here's the kicker. The last key is a game changer. Don't skip ahead or tune out, because this might be the most valuable insight you've ever received. Ready? Let's dive right in. Key 1. Women want intimacy, but only with the right man. Here's a truth that many guys overlook. Women desire intimacy just as much as men do. The idea that women need to be convinced or coaxed into physical attraction is a myth. Women want connection and intimacy, and under the right circumstances, they're open to it sooner than you might think. But there's one crucial catch. They'll only feel that way with the right man. Let me break it down. Women's behavior around intimacy can vary dramatically depending on the energy and personality of the man they're with. If a woman senses desperation or neediness, she'll instinctively put up walls. Similarly, if a guy comes off as overly pushy or insistent, it's an instant turnoff. Now, contrast that with a man who exudes confidence, is comfortable in his own skin, and radiates positive, relaxed energy. Add genuine interest in her as a person, and you have a recipe for creating attraction. Women are drawn to men who are grounded, authentic, and unapologetically themselves. When you become this type of man, you won't have to chase or convince anyone. They'll naturally gravitate toward you, sometimes faster than you can imagine. The first key to remember is this: women want intimacy as much as you do. The difference lies in how you present yourself. If you're confident, charismatic, and genuine, they'll not only want to be with you, they'll actively pursue you. Key 2. Be great with women, then disappear. Have you ever noticed that people often want what they can't easily have? This psychological principle is at the heart of the second key. Master the art of making a strong impression and then create space for her to miss you. I recently watched an interview with Morgan Freeman where he shared an interesting tidbit about his success with women. His secret? Showing genuine interest and attraction, but then stepping back, allowing the woman to take the lead. This creates a sense of intrigue and makes her feel like she's chasing you. Now, you might think, well, of course Morgan Freeman can pull that off. He's a famous actor. But trust me, this isn't reserved for celebrities. It's a universal principle that works because of human psychology. I'll give you an example from my own life. I once noticed a stunningly beautiful woman at a networking event. We exchanged a brief moment of connection. I smiled, handed her my business card with my name and number, and left. I didn't linger or overthink it. A few days later, she reached out to me. At the time, I was busy with other commitments, so I didn't immediately respond. What happened next? She added me on social media, making an even greater effort to get my attention. Here's the lesson. When you position yourself as someone desirable and then take a step back, you create a magnetic pull that's hard for her to resist. Women are naturally drawn to men who value themselves and their time. So show her you're interested, then give her the space to pursue you. Key 3. Give her your contact information. Don't ask for hers. This might sound counterintuitive, but it's incredibly effective. To make a woman chase you, flip the script. Provide her with your contact information instead of asking for hers. When you hand her your details with confidence and without expectation, it conveys that you're secure in who you are. Think of it this way. When you invite someone to a party, you're not begging them to come. You're extending an invitation because you know they'll have an amazing time. Similarly, when you give her your number or social media, you're subtly signaling that you're worth getting to know. There's no pressure, no neediness, just an open door for her to walk through if she chooses. Key 4. Let her come to you and give her freedom. Here's the final and most transformative key. Don't try to control or force the situation. If a woman decides to reach out, let it happen naturally. Give her the freedom to take the first step. When she does, it's a clear sign that she's genuinely interested in you, which increases the likelihood of a meaningful connection. Sometimes reverse psychology plays a role here. When she's the one making the effort, she perceives you as more valuable. It's a subtle shift, but it makes all the difference. And if she doesn't reach out, don't stress. Focus on living your life, pursuing your goals, and enjoying your journey. The right people will align with your path when the timing is right. Final thoughts, and the rest will naturally fall into place. If you enjoyed this and want more tips, leave a comment saying, "I'm a man of action." Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps support the channel and brings you more content like this. Until next time, stay confident and keep growing.
Ignoring you, her first move. But what's yours? Let's face it, when a woman begins to ignore you, it's rarely about her being genuinely busy or preoccupied. More often than not, it's a calculated move. Whether she's fully aware of it or not, she's testing you. She wants to gauge your reaction, measure your resilience, and see if you'll lose your composure. Too often, men fall into the trap she's set. They double down on texting, call incessantly, or bend over backward to regain her attention. And here's the painful truth. The moment you start chasing her, you've already lost something crucial, her respect. But here's where things get interesting. Just because a woman is ignoring you doesn't mean she's lost interest. More often it means she's keenly observing your reaction. How you respond in these moments of uncertainty defines everything. Are you going to crumble, act needy, and beg for her attention? Or will you stand tall, showing her that your life doesn't revolve around her? Here's the secret. Women are instinctively drawn to men who exude strength, independence, and mystery. A man who reacts with desperation and constant pursuit only signals weakness, and that's the fastest way to lose her interest. No woman admires or respects a man she perceives as emotionally fragile. So, what's the solution? It's simple yet profound. Take a step back. Give her space and let her feel the absence of your attention. Let her wonder why you're not chasing her. It's counterintuitive, even uncomfortable, but it works wonders. Why? Because silence has a way of forcing her to think about you. It shifts the power dynamic, creating a void she didn't anticipate. And that's the moment everything changes. Are you ready to turn the tables? Let's dive into 5 powerful strategies that will not only help you regain control, but also draw her back to you without ever having to chase her. First, stop texting her immediately. When a woman starts ignoring you, your natural inclination might be to reach out more, sending her messages asking if everything's okay, or trying to spark a conversation. But this is the absolute worst move you can make. In fact, the best thing you can do is nothing. Silence is your strongest weapon in this situation. Bombarding her with texts not only shows desperation, but also reinforces the idea that she holds all the power. And let's be clear, desperation is the biggest turn-off for a woman. Women have an almost uncanny ability to pick up on insecurity. If your texts scream, "Please notice me," she'll sense it immediately. And instead of making her miss you, your constant communication will confirm that you're always available, and availability is far from attractive. Here's why. Humans, by nature, crave what they can't fully have. The moment you stop texting her, you disrupt her sense of control. She starts wondering, why has he gone quiet? Did I do something wrong? Has he lost interest? This curiosity plants a seed of intrigue, and that's when she begins to think about you again. A practical example. Let's say you've been texting regularly, but suddenly her replies slow down. Maybe they become dry, or she stops responding altogether. Most men panic at this stage, sending messages like, "Is everything okay?" or "Did I do something wrong?" But here's what you should do instead. Stop texting her altogether. At first, she might not even notice, but as hours turn into days, her mind will start racing. Why haven't you reached out? What are you doing? The longer the silence, the more potent its effect. To amplify this, post confidently on social media, pictures of you at the gym, hanging out with friends, or pursuing hobbies. This creates the impression that you're thriving without her. The next thing you know, she'll send a casual message like, "Hey, how have you been?" That's her testing the waters, checking if she still has your attention. Why this works? By stepping back, you flip the script. Instead of you chasing her, your absence creates a vacuum that only you can fill. If she's genuinely interested, she'll come back to you. And if she doesn't, you've dodged a bullet, saving yourself from investing in someone who doesn't appreciate you. 2. Stay busy and unavailable. When a woman pulls back, many men make the mistake of waiting around, obsessing over why she's gone cold. But sitting idle and wallowing in frustration only makes you more unattractive. Instead, you need to redirect your energy. The key here is to stay busy, genuinely busy. Women are